What if the worst oil crisis in modern history is actually the best thing that ever happened to clean energy? While airlines are collapsing and gas prices are destroying household budgets, a quiet revolution is accelerating in the background, and the investors who see it are positioning for the biggest wealth transfer of the decade. Today, we're breaking down exactly how the oil shock of 2026 is turbocharging renewable energy, and which stocks could make you serious money in the next 12 to 24 months. Let's go. First, the numbers that nobody is talking about. In 2025, global investment in clean energy reached $2.2 trillion. That's $2.2 trillion out of $3.3 trillion total energy spending worldwide. Two-thirds of all energy investment on the planet is now going into clean energy. And here's the milestone that should be on every investor's radar. Renewables have already surpassed coal as the world's #1 source of electricity in 2025. The IEA projects renewables will represent 36% of the global electricity mix in 2026, versus 32% for coal. This tipping point happened before the oil crisis. The crisis is now acting as rocket fuel. Fatih Birol, the director of the International Energy Agency, put it perfectly. The volatility of oil prices makes renewables more attractive as a domestic energy source, less vulnerable to geopolitical shocks, cheaper in the long run, and produced locally. When your oil comes from a region where missiles are hitting nuclear power plants, suddenly a solar panel on your roof looks very attractive. Now let's talk about the countries moving fastest. China is the undisputed leader. It accounts for half of all new solar and wind capacity added globally. Half. China understood decades ago that energy independence was a national security issue. The current crisis is proving them right. Europe is accelerating hard. Spain, Portugal, the UK with its Warm Homes Plan, all announcing emergency measures to fast-track solar installations and building renovations. The EU is pushing tax credits for solar and energy efficiency at a scale never seen before. Asia is moving too. South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, the ASEAN nations, all announcing explicit plans to accelerate their energy transition in direct response to the Strait of Hormuz crisis. And the United States? Mixed signals. Some states are pushing hard on renewables. Federal policy is more focused on releasing strategic reserves, but the market is making its own decisions regardless of Washington. Now let's talk about the stocks. In the solar sector, NextEra Energy, ticker NE, is the world's largest renewable utilities company, trading around $92, with a market cap of approximately $190 billion. This is the blue chip of the renewable energy world. Solid, established, paying dividends. First Solar and Enphase have seen recent pressure due to general market risk aversion, but their fundamentals are actually improving. When the dust settles on this crisis, these are the companies with the order books full for years ahead. In wind energy, Brookfield Renewable, ticker BPC, has delivered 58% gains over the past year. This is a company that owns and operates renewable assets globally: hydro, wind, solar, storage. Diversified and growing. In hydrogen and storage, the most speculative but potentially most explosive sector, Plug Power surged 21% in a single week on recent announcements. Fluence Energy and Energy Vault posted annual gains of 188% and 172% respectively before the crisis hit. These are not safe bets. They are high-risk, high-reward positions for investors who believe, as I do, that the energy transition is now inevitable and accelerating. And then there are electric vehicles. Here's the logic that every consumer is now running in their head. My gas bill just doubled. My next car will be electric. BYD, the Chinese EV giant, posted its best monthly performance in March 2026, up 8%. NEV sales in China reached 53% of all new car sales in 2025. 53%. The combustion engine is already a minority in the world's largest auto market. Tesla is more complicated, trading around $350 to $360, down 11 to 14% year-to-date. The oil shock should benefit Tesla, but the company is facing intense competition from BYD and other Chinese manufacturers, plus political controversies in certain markets. Rivian and Lucid have seen significant volatility, but both have posted strong rebounds during oil price spikes. The logic is simple. Higher gas prices make EVs more economically attractive. Full stop. Now, let's be honest about the obstacles. Because this is not all smooth sailing. The number one problem is intermittency and storage. The sun doesn't always shine. The wind doesn't always blow. Battery storage technology is improving rapidly, but the costs are still significant and the infrastructure is not yet at scale. The number two problem is grid congestion. Even when you build the renewable capacity, getting it connected to the grid takes years. Permitting delays, infrastructure bottlenecks, regulatory complexity. The energy transition is moving fast, but not fast enough to replace oil overnight. The number three problem is supply chain dependence on China. Solar panels, batteries, rare earth minerals. China controls a significant portion of the supply chain for renewable energy components. This creates its own geopolitical vulnerability. And number four, oil is still dominant in transport, heavy industry, and aviation. Even with full acceleration of renewables, petroleum will remain relevant for years, potentially decades, in these hard-to-electrify sectors. But here's the key insight for investors. You don't need renewables to replace oil completely to make money. You just need the trend to continue. And the trend is now being supercharged by the most powerful force in economics, necessity. When oil hits $120, governments don't debate whether to invest in renewables. They scramble to do it as fast as possible. The IEA, the EU, South Korea, Japan, China, all announcing emergency acceleration plans simultaneously. This is what a structural shift looks like in real time. The playbook for the intelligent investor right now is clear. Short-term, energy majors like Exxon and Chevron are making money. Hold or buy. Medium-term, renewable utilities like NextEra and Brookfield are the safe bet for the transition. Accumulate on dips. Long-term, storage, hydrogen, and EV infrastructure are the highest risk, highest reward plays. Small positions for those with appetite for volatility. The oil crisis of 2026 will be remembered as the moment the energy transition went from theory to urgent reality. The question is, are you on the right side of history? If this video gave you clarity, smash that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. I'm Kurt, and this is Investopia. I'll see you in the next one. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. It does not constitute financial advice. Always do your own research before making any investment decisions.